I don't know why that just makes me laugh whenever I hear that recording in progress. It's like, say something. Hi, Nicole.
Hey Eric, how are you?
I'm great. You look
Yeah,
fantastic today.
I love that whenever we see each other and we start talking, we're like, save it,
Mm.
save it. We can't have an in-person conversation anymore.
Because everything we have to say to each other is just straight gold, and it has to wait.
It's
Yes,
great. It's
absolutely.
because you can't repeat it, right? The magic is in the
Oh,
first reaction. And so
exactly.
you can't waste that first reaction since we have to do this every week.
Yeah, that was funny last night. I had so much I wanted to say to you, and I just stopped myself. I was like, no, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
No, we're moving on.
So
Um,
we're gonna share it today.
yeah, good stuff. Pearls of wisdom, deep insights into real estate and investing.
And how old I feel because I know nothing. No, we'll talk about that.
Okay, yeah, you know what? You bring up an interesting point, but all right, let's just say hello. Hey, everybody, welcome to the Real Agents Podcast, a weekly podcast where our mission, should we choose to accept it, is to discuss life, real estate, and everything in between. So if you like your conversations shaken and not stirred, well, then this is the podcast for you.
I'm Nicole Dash,
And I'm Eric Harrington, and
and
we
we
are
are the
the
real
Real
agents.
Agents. 10 times, and we're still not there. But you
I
know
think
what? We're
there
getting
might be a
better.
delay. I don't know what it is. We can't. It's like I'm looking at you right in the eye, and I feel like we've got it in rhythm, but not. It's fine.
Yeah,
Um,
let's blame technology. You know what? Can we flip it and let's start with real estate because I want to
yeah.
talk about what we did yesterday.
Yeah, it was fun. So, yeah, I mean, I'm so excited that we got to attend the first ever grid launch
Yes,
meeting because we had
yes.
Carla and Isaac on here a couple of weeks ago. And, they did such a great job hyping it up, talking about it. But until you were in the room and you really felt the vibe and the energy, you didn't really get it,
Were
right?
you expecting? I mean, so a little background. We had the meeting at they had the meeting at our offices, and it's a good size office. I mean, in one of our big kind of meeting rooms, but 66 people attended.
Yeah.
That's huge.
People. And they were all representative. Like there were some obviously agents from our office, but then we
Yeah.
had other investors, lenders, contractors. I mean, it was just such a variety of people that, someone off the street, I don't know, maybe that just
You know
like
what?
were there.
What blew me away about the group was the age. I think the average age in there had to be around 30 years old. There were so many young people
Yeah.
in that room. I was really surprised and taken aback by, the fact that so many young people are into this and wanting to, get into real estate at this early stage in the game. I wish when I was 30, I was thinking like these people were thinking.
They're so smart. I mean, it's this whole generation of like, we're gonna, buck the system. We're gonna build our own wealth, right? We're gonna do it our way. We're gonna figure out an out of the box solution. And
Mhm.
that's what all of this is. Like, it's just, we've been in real estate. We like to think we're experts in real estate, right? For a long time, right? I think so. Like, we're professionals. Like, you can trust us. We'll help you buy and sell your home and get you the best deal and whatever. But I felt like they were speaking a foreign language, right? It was like,
I know, right? Yeah.
oh, wow. What, from wholesaling to subject to just all this, all these creative ways of acquiring property in order to build wealth. And a lot of times with like creative financing solutions, right? Like
Yes.
you
Yes.
don't need money to be able to buy and build a wedding venue and a winery. Like what? That's
But please take some notes because I think I'm going to need both of those things
yes.
really soon. Yeah, that's what really blew me away was all the different ideas and topics of things that I had never heard before. And that this isn't like really new stuff. I mean, these are practices that people have been doing and been successful with over time, but have just not been on my radar. And I feel a little foolish that I hadn't been aware of some of these techniques. But man, am I eager to learn? Am I eager to get into this and figure out how I could start making money from these things? It's really exciting.
It is exciting. I mean, the whole idea of building a portfolio that gives you passive income, right? So you can have the income that just comes to you, kind of like a retirement fund, right? Or
yeah, I'm pulling up my notes. Keep talking, because I did take some notes.
My husband is a teacher, right? And the big advantage of being a teacher is when he retires, he gets a full pension. It's one of the few jobs nowadays that get that, right? Mm-hmm. And so he has 12 years till he is fully, he's done his time,
vested or whatever. Yeah.
Right. To get his, to be able to retire. That doesn't mean he won't continue working, but he won't necessarily be a teacher in Fairfax County anymore, because then he can get his full pension. He can teach in a different state or different county, things like that. And so, in my mind, obviously I have different investment strategies. I love to create some passive income to kind of be like my pension, right? And that, in a perfect world, to be a mix of different, rent and hold investments. I'd love an Airbnb, right? I'm like, just bring it all to me. So how do I accomplish that? And I think that's what Grid is like, opening my eyes and my mind to ways I can do it.
Yeah, just the different mindsets. There was so many things that they said yesterday that just resonated. But the one thing that really got me was they talk about quantifying your success. And one of the lines that I wrote down was, how do you win in this? It's, you win when your passive income exceeds your household expenses. And I just never thought of it that way. I always deemed, passive income, if you, $1,000 here, $1,000 there, once a month, and it's going to fill in the gaps. Well, that's just maintaining. That's not winning.
Right.
Winning is when passive income takes care of everything.
Yeah.
Winning is when, you can step aside and your passive income is just, paying all the bills.
Paying all the bills.
And when they said that, I was looking around the room and I was looking at all these young people. I mean, the gentleman sitting next to me, this kid named JJ, 19 years old, and he's already got his first ratified wholesale contract. And I was just thinking, this kid at 19, I mean, he just gets it. His passive income, if he's able to do that passive income at 30, and he's winning, mind blown. The sky's the limit. I mean, where's he going to stop?
Yeah, it's kind of like, why wasn't I thinking this way, right? Why wasn't I thinking this way then? Like, of course, I had the more traditional route, right? I was like, okay, being a homeowner, that's the key, right? So, bought a condo in my, early 20s. And then I sold that and I bought a small home. And then I sold that and I bought a little bigger home. And then I sold that and I got a big, right? So like I did a very traditional route of building equity. Yeah. But the fact that people are, and I had to use the equity to buy the next home. Like I didn't have the luxury of being like, I'm going to make that a rental and buy another home. In my life and circumstances and journey, I always sold it to buy the next, and obviously we know, like, if you can keep it, that's better. But, the idea of like, hey, take some of that equity and invest that into buying a place that you can rent out, fix it up, and then refinance it. And then use that next chunk for the next property, right? That whole Burr method that they talked about, which I've heard about. It's not new, but just having them kind of say it there in that moment just felt different.
You're right. You hit the nail on the head. It's one thing to read it. It's one thing to, someone sends you an email and it talks about Burr and it lays it all out. It's another thing to talk to someone and have that interaction. And they explain to you exactly how they, the methods they used and how it benefited them. I mean, everything you're saying is absolutely, the right way to gain wealth. I mean, real estate, buying a home is the fastest track to, independent wealth in our country. But these techniques that they were talking about in grid is how to maximize that, how to put it on steroids. You know what I mean? And yeah, I mean, what you did, your traditional method, absolutely great and correct, and it got you to where you are today. But imagine if you were attending grid meetings, 20 years ago.
Wow.
Where would you be right now?
Yeah, my head. And, I love it. I love the fact that, we're getting this now and we can share it with our children. And I know my son, he's been wholesaling and he's all into all of that. And we talk about it. And, so I've actually learned a ton from him, being a 20-something-year-old. But, one thing I loved about the grid meeting yesterday was after the meeting, it was a networking opportunity. And, we got to talk to other people who are actually doing these things. And, our contractor, Andrew, who we work with.
Yeah.
He was there with, and he was there with Tyler, who works with him, right? Mm-hmm. And does like a lot of work with him in his business. And he was telling me, he's like, oh yeah, I have two townhomes, a small home, like a little house, and then my main primary home. And he's like, and I got all of them using the Burr method. And I'm like, and he has 3 young kids. He can't be more than 30. I mean, maybe 32. I don't know. Young to me, but
who knows now with the steroids in the milk?
Right. I mean, he has a long beard, so it's hard to age people with the facial hair, but
thank you. I'm only 24.
I know that's the secret, right?
Anyway,
the facial hair, you don't know. It's like women with bangs to cover the lines.
Oh, is that why? Is that? Damn it! I need to put some bangs.
Well, I have like what's called side bangs, but it doesn't quite go in the whole.
I love it. I love it. No one knows how old we are because we're doing. We don't know.
Things. We just cover it all.
All right. Well, anyway, I had to leave early. So I know you talked with Andrew. What were some of the other conversations that you had, and who impressed you other than Andrew at the event?
Oh, you mean after for networking?
Yeah, for the networking.
I mean, I talked to a few other people. I'm not very good at networking. Like I'm good at like talking to people I know, and then I definitely met some really interesting people there who were like, there was this one couple. They're young. They're just getting into this and excited and interested, but they haven't really done anything yet. So that was great. I gave them my card and we talked a little bit about real estate, and they're just like, their eyes are wide open and they're super interested. And I thought, I love the fact that they attended this event because it's hard to get young people out to in-person events.
What's funny is like you expect there to be a certain level of energy at an event like this because you're only attending this event if you know a little bit about it and you're excited about it. But, all the conversations I had, all these people were like fired up and jazzed and like ready to go. And it almost felt like they had their checkbooks out and they were like, where are we? How can we make some money? Come on, let's do it.
Right.
And that was one of the things I liked about Grid is there is no price of admission. You know what I mean? They're not expecting you to buy anything, to buy into anything, to make a commitment to anything. And it's solely about putting like minds in the same room and trying to create.
Right.
And that's what I thought was really cool about it. And sharing those techniques and sharing those best practices. And then, afterwards having those discussions about how I made it work or how I'm planning to make it work and who I'm going to try to work with. I'm excited for next month when they talk about wholesaling because I have no idea how someone makes that work. And it intrigues me.
It's very interesting. And I've been interested in that for a little while since my son does that a little bit. And I actually, as a listing agent, I received my first wholesaling offer on a property I was selling not too long ago. And because I had been introduced to the whole concept from my son, it's so sad. It's like, otherwise I'd kind of be in the dark, right? And I kind of knew the questions to ask. And which is really important as an agent. Like you have to know all aspects of real estate because when you're confronted with it, like I have to know, do you have an actual pool of investors? Like how
Yeah.
is it just you and
You
your
don't want to be caught off guard. Yes.
right?
And,
Yeah,
and
like
it's one thing to say, oh, hold on, put them on hold, and then Google it.
right.
Read it,
Exactly.
and then oh yeah, I just had to take a call. No, but yeah, I imagine as a listing agent that can get tricky, and you want to make sure you're representing your clients in the best way possible. But one of the things that I gathered from wholesaling is the real success is finding homes that aren't listed. I mean, it's hard to be a successful wholesaler when you're paying a retail price, so to
Right.
speak.
Yeah. Well, I think the trick is to find the homes that are in such poor condition, right? That
Mhm.
or the owners are in a more desperate situation, right? That
Yeah.
need that help quickly. They need to be able to sell it fast for cash. Because that's what these wholesaler deals are for
Yeah.
cash. And I know that from talking to my son, and we'll learn more about this next month. So I don't know. I'm not an
Mhm.
expert.
Yeah.
From talking to him, they're not bound by just their local region. So
Yeah. Yeah.
they
Because they're not agents in an area.
right.
They can go anywhere. Yeah.
They can just make call. They can go online and make calls in Kansas and be like, "Hey, the trick is having. Do you know an investor who wants to buy a place in Kansas? Right? That's the trick. It's like, okay, well, from our analytics, this looks like a great deal, great location.
But you got to have that back end already in place,
Yeah. Yeah, they have to
right?
know that and that's where the technology and the research comes in. And I think there are some programs out there that help them accomplish that, right? And figure out what the post renovated cost is, right? The
Yeah.
ARV or
The
whatever.
ARV. Yeah.
ARV.
The 19-year-old next to me, when they said, "Does anyone know what ARV stands for?" and no one raised their hand, and this kid next to me yelled it out. I was like, "Man, go get it, kid!"
I
And
know.
that's kind of what I gathered about the wholesaling game. Seems like a young man's game or a young woman's game.
Yeah.
It seems like, yeah, the 20 somethings, that's what they're like trying to really grasp onto and be successful at. I think because I've been doing this on the buyer side for so long, I have to get over that sympathy.
Yeah.
Like I always want the seller and the buyer to both feel good at the end of it, you know.
Yeah.
And I know a bad offer when I see one. You know what I mean, and you do
Yeah,
too.
absolutely. You never want to feel like you're taking advantage of someone.
Yeah,
But at the
but
same
I
time,
think you got to get rid of that,
yeah,
right?
well, no, I think at the same time, you have to realize that for some people, that is the answer to their prayers,
Yeah.
that offer,
Yes.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because let's say they're about to lose the home and everything they put into it, and they have 14 days before foreclosure, right? And they just need to be able to get out of it so that they can walk away with something, right? Rather than lose everything. So for them, even though it's a bad offer, and some might say you're taking advantage, others might say you're really helping them when no one else would.
And that's the mindset that personally I have to flip, because
Right.
you are doing a service, you know. I mean, even with that quote unquote, wholesale offer, bad offer, whatever it is, you are still helping because you're providing that offer a way out,
Yeah.
an alternative to something really bad. It's just, it was cool hearing some of the techniques, and there was a little like back and forth right at the end between Isaac and I guess a gentleman who's, I'm not sure if he's a wholesaler or just an
I
investor.
think he's just like a really experienced investor from going to all these events and like
Yeah.
stirring up trouble, but in a fun way. It was fun. I liked
It
it.
was great. It was awesome. It
It
was
was
awesome.
good. It was really
And
fun.
and I loved the way he was challenging Isaac to go in and ask for that house and make an offer. And there was like different mindsets on how to do it.
Right.
Yeah, and it's all just, it's really intriguing. I'm glad that we have an opportunity to be a part of it. I'm excited to see where we can take it. I'm ready
So
for my first investment. I don't know
yeah,
about
me too. I think we should challenge each other and then, share on the podcast when and if we're able to take any of these things we're learning and turn it into something tangible for us.
Okay,
Right.
well then I will share. I had a call from a past client recently, who's unfortunately their mother unexpectedly passed away and left them her condo. It's a one-level condo in Falls Church. Annandale. And it's not, I don't know if you're familiar, the street is Cuddy Loop.
Maybe
I'm being real specific, and
yeah.
for podcasts, that's probably the worst thing you could do. But anyway, the comps in the area for a wonderful updated condo are just shy of 300, right?
Right.
But this place is not in that kind of shape, and immediately I reached out to Isaac and Carla just to get an idea on, some of knowing that they've been investigating this, what are some of the conversations I should have? And they were like, just go get them, offer them, 70% of value because the ARV,
right.
And when you do the math and you do the number, it's like egregiously low, in my opinion.
Right.
And that's always been my toughest obstacle in sales, is feeling like I'm taking advantage of people. And that was something that, and is something that I need to get over. When I had this conversation, and the conversation's going on, but the initial conversation, these folks absolutely think they should get $300,000 for this condo.
Oh,
and I was able to explain to them that you're probably not going to get that in this condition unless you invest XYZ,
right.
and, just throw out a number. It was and it probably needs about $40,000 worth of work in order to sell at the top of the market. So the conversation now is, how do I get it? And Isaac brought that up. He's like, you go into these houses and you see it, and it's like, okay, what do I need to do to get this house? And more than anything, I think I just need to change my mindset on how to approach it. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It's like, now that you're thinking that way, the opportunities will appear, I think.
Yes.
Like I feel like, because before you're not thinking that way, so it right over your head, right? Oh, I'm so sorry she lost her house, how can I help, right? But or whatever the situation is,
how can we help you sell your house and you get the most for it, rather than, how about I buy your house and we take care of it and you don't have to worry about it?
Exactly. Yeah. So it's interesting. And I want to give a shout out to Carla and Isaac.
Oh my God.
They did
how good were they?
An amazing job. Carla's personal story, I'm not going to share it, but I mean, it was great. They put a personal touch. They were fun, engaging. They've worked so hard on this, and so I'm so proud of them.
I will share the one part where she said she's dating a guy for 6 weeks.
6 months, I think.
Was it 6 months at that time?
Yeah.
And then she asked him for $80,000 to buy a property.
But hey, you want to go in on a business deal in a condo? You got $80,000. But now they're
married. But and then at the end of the story, I ended up marrying him. I guess that means he gave her the $80,000.
So, he did. He gave it to her. Their love was built on condos and townhomes and renovations. They've done a whole bunch of them together. So
I was so surprised at just how organized and how together the whole presentation, the whole package. I mean, it was really well done. Really well done.
Very well done. So next month, third Wednesday of every month, right? Or second Wednesday?
I think it's second.
Second Wednesday of every month. They're doing it at our office, Debbie Doğrul Associates office, Grid. I think there's a meetup. Maybe we can, in the description, put the meetup link.
Yeah, I think there's a Facebook meetup group and all that fun stuff.
Mr. Producer, in the description, not on the screen. Because last time we got scolded for saying, put the link here and here and here. He said I can't do that. So
Joe Rogan can do it. Why can't you?
Come on. I need a pop-up. Ding.
Joe Rogan also gets Elon Musk on his podcast. I don't think we're going to get Elon anytime soon.
No, that's okay.
I called him. He doesn't return my calls. That punk. Anyway. All right. So, let's move on. That was fantastic. Grid was great. We will continue to give you guys updates on what Grid is doing and what we're doing with Grid.
Yeah, and all about these creative solutions. So good for everybody.
You know, I mean, and I guess sticking with that, I have had the opportunity this year to be a part of some investments, and I can say that this is the first time in my life I've been serious about my investing portfolio. And you know, for anyone who's thinking about it, I can tell you that I was always apprehensive. I had no problem putting my money in a savings account, keeping my money in the bank, and just watching it grow as I put money in, and it really not growing, just sitting there, kind of thing. But once I took that leap and decided that I'm going to make investing a part of my life and important with my whole process, it's exciting and it's liberating. It's liberating to watch and see that, you know, my money is actually working for me right now.
Yeah.
And I don't know how you feel about your investments, but I am just so jazzed that I'm always looking for something new now.
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's a totally different mindset. And what's funny about that, which actually is a great topic, is about you know, I came home from Grid all jazzed, so excited, and like telling my husband all about it, right? And I'm like, and this, and you can use equity for this, and you can do that, and he's like, I'm not very. This is but you know my husband, he's like, I'm not very introspective, but I've been sitting here thinking, like, why am I so risk averse? Right? He's like, it just, and it dates back to like childhood and like all this stuff. And he's just like, I just really am really nervous to do anything outside the box with money. And I was like, good thing I'm not telling you about it. No, I'm kidding. Like, but yeah, I mean, it's a real thing. That's the whole mindset that's part of the whole thing. Like, go to invest.
Look, if it's not risky, you know, is it worth it? And what I mean by that is everything that's innovative or new and exciting. There's a quite a bit of risk involved. I mean, if it wasn't risky, everybody would have done it, and then it wouldn't be worth anything. You know what I mean? So, I get it, and I think that was it too. I was very, very risk adverse, and it was a lot of it had to do with, you know, family and kids and trying to maintain and wanting to make sure that you know, bills were paid and all that fun stuff. But that's what excites me about seeing young people doing this stuff, because they don't get that. You know, they're not already, that's not ingrained with them, I think. And their mindset is already changed to the point where this is just part of life.
Right.
You know, I take it back to, think about it. I think my son Elijah might be the first generation that doesn't know a world that doesn't have one of these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And this changes everything. I mean, once you think about what it was like without this, you know what I mean? Like, you couldn't just make a phone call to anyone. You had to go find a phone.
And just the knowledge, right? It was the knowledge was kept passed down from wealthy to wealthy, right? You had to be in the good old boys club.
Yeah.
You had to look
at, and now everybody has access to it.
Right? I mean, you had to be in, right? The country club people who were like, you know, we'll do this investment together, right? And no one else, and then everyone else just living paycheck to paycheck, not knowing, right? It's just like, and now there's so much knowledge, so much information out there, YouTube tutorials on how to flip a house. I mean, you know, whatever it is, for better or worse, I think it's for better. You know, we're closing that gap.
I do too. I think that, you know, when everybody, well, not everybody, when the masses are happy, when people, when we're sharing this information, things just run more smoothly. The world runs more smoothly. I don't know. That's my Pollyanna feeling about everything.
I feel the same way too. I mean, like, for all of the hardships this causes, it's blurry, but this causes me as a parent with the teens, right? And all the social media and like navigating, how do you parent a kid who's like thinking their self-worth is on TikTok, right? Like, like as erase that part of it, it's all good. It's all positive. I think more information is always better. It's just learning how to navigate the oversaturation of information.
How do you interpret the data? That's the thing. I mean, it is information overload at times.
Yeah.
But if you can learn how to filter it correctly and just really absorb the stuff that's going to make you a better person and make the world around you better.
Yeah.
I'm all in.
So we're kind of like shifting topics here, but like, so, I have a 12-year-old, almost 12-year-old daughter. And, all of a sudden she started like sending me links or like for her whole like Christmas, like with all this skincare stuff, right? Like these brands and the skincare lines. And she's not even into all of that. But it's like all these things that she's seeing on, I guess she was seeing on, she doesn't have Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook. She has TikTok, which some may argue is kind of the worst. I don't know. But apparently I'm like, okay, I need to have the conversation, which is the For You page is curated to convince you. So like, she's like, oh, everyone knows about, oh, this is the best brand. Something Drunk Elephant is the best brand of this. I'm like, what? We go into Ulta. It's like $50 for a jar this size. And I'm like, listen, I was like, I know
that's a teachable moment. Yes.
I'm like, I need you to understand you're 12. You don't need skincare products. Number one.
Number two,
they're
manipulating you.
This is advertising. This is how I know you don't realize it because it's like, oh, your favorite person's like whatever. It's like they're being paid and the algorithm is showing you what you need to show. And so, and I'm just going down this rabbit hole of just how parenting kids and explaining and being transparent about how these algorithms work, to convince you of something. And once they see you are interested, you see it more. So
I have something similar to share. I don't want to share all my political views, but I'm pretty left leaning. I don't. Yeah, that's who I am. All right, people, that's who I am.
We got. Yeah.
But I clicked on a few things because I wanted to see what the other side was talking about, kind of thing. And now my YouTube algorithm sends me every right-wing conspiracy there is. It is so hilarious to find out about the aliens from Mars. I mean, it's just weird. Like what happens is, and now you can see how people can go crazy because all they do on these social medias is support their own beliefs. And once the algorithm finds out that you think this way, it's going to send you all of this.
All of it. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And good or bad. Yeah. Good or bad.
And it's so convincing. So, I would Google like best car seat, right? Like when I was pregnant, research, right? I'm doing research. So then my whole feed is, things about babies, fine. Pregnant people, fine. I'll click on it, whatever. But then it was like an advertising for like a nursing cover, right? And I'm just using that as an example. It was like one specific, really expensive, like $90 piece of cloth that goes over your head. And I was like, the first time I saw it, I was like, that's ridiculous. A couple days, weeks later, I see it again. I'm like, well, let me just look at it.
Yeah, let me research that.
And then like, I ordered it.
You ordered two of them, didn't you?
I did. I was like, it looks really, really like cool. Like and then
gotcha.
I know that I was sold. I know I was sold. I know that I went down, but this is how convincing it is. And it's true. You got to see it multiple times to, whatever.
Yeah. And I also get the whole marketing behind it too. I mean, everyone's fair game. We live in a capitalistic society. That's how people make money. You know what? I'm all in. Let's do it. Let's figure it out. But you also got to understand what's happening to you. It's when you don't understand it, that's when you can really be sucked into it. And then you start living in the rabbit hole.
That's it becomes your reality, and you don't see outside of that reality for sure.
The thing I don't understand and scares me is when we're having a conversation about the baby seats, right? And then as soon as I open up my phone, there's an ad for a baby seat.
Yeah. That's scary. And I know, like, I know the whole thing about cookies, right? Like the
Yes.
cookies that accept all cookies. If you're on your phone
Yeah.
and you have your Wi-Fi on, right? And you walk through a mall, past a store that has the Wi-Fi thing, and then you see ads or coupons for it, it's not a coincidence, right? They've done that. That's how they capture you.
Yes.
I'm okay. I understand how that
Yeah.
works.
Yeah.
The audio part of it, because you
They're
can't.
listening to us.
They are listening. It's true. I believe it. Are we conspiracy?
That's your conspiracy?
I
That
don't
they're
know.
always listening?
So, but I have to hide. Sure.
Well, that's the way I see it too. People were saying to me, "Yo, you don't want to give your information. Now they got your info." Okay. There's nothing exciting there.
Search. I mean, we're realtors, right? Our phone numbers are out there. Everything's out there. So not that, there's not really a lot of privacy out there. So
I got nothing to hide anymore. My life's an open book. You could ask our producer.
Right.
There is nothing exciting there. All right, we are running long. I don't know if we have time to get into the personal stuff. Do we?
Well,
we got a little bit of time.
We got a little hand motion. All
right. A little bit about me. I love movies. There's a few things I love, but movies is probably at the top of the list. I consider myself to be a cinephile. A perfect day to me is on the couch with an adult beverage and just watching movie after movie after movie after movie.
Nice.
So the Golden Globes were this year, and it just got me. I mean, we're yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it just got me thinking about this year's movies. One of the best movies I've ever seen came out last year.
Really? What? Okay, what is it?
Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. You need to see this movie. Oh my God. It is.
Do you know how sad it is? I've never even heard of this movie. I know. Don't kill me. I'm so behind on new.
Well, you just had a baby, so that's understandable.
No, but I loved like going to the theater, like to movie theater, see a movie. Yes. Like this is something that I enjoy so much, and just I think the pandemic killed it for a long time.
The movie theaters are dead. Yeah.
They're dead, and it's sad because it used to be like, oh, what do you want to do this weekend? We can go to a movie, right? Now it's
that was always the answer. That was the easy answer.
But now it really has to be a special movie for it to even cross my mind to go to a movie. So
like Top Gun. You did see Top Gun.
I did see that. That was the first one I saw in the theater.
And it was worth it. It was like,
yes.
How else do you see
this movie? You see. Yeah.
Yeah, you have seen a movie. Okay, but anyway, getting back to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Transformative movie, and we can mark this down. What year is this? 2023. People will still be talking about this movie 10, 15, 20 years from now. I guarantee it. It's
okay, I'm going to see this movie, and we're going to.
It is so well written. It speaks to relationships, mother-daughter relationships. It speaks to identity. It's funny. It's well written. It's incredibly acted. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to win a bunch of Oscars. Like, not that that's the measure of anything, but it did win a few Golden Globes. It won for Best Actress. It won for Best Supporting Actor. The actor who plays the husband is the same actor who played Short Round in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And then he was in one other movie. Did he
ever do anything after that? Oh, Goonies.
He was Data.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Oh, wow.
Well, he was still in the industry. What's that?
That's how I'll convince my husband to watch it, because
there you go. Yes,
he loves all those 80s movies. Right, that's his thing. So
he is so incredible in this movie. Like he blows you away with what he does. It's like, where have you been? And Michelle Yeoh is the main character, the protagonist, and she's so beautiful and amazing in this role, and it's such a roller coaster. I couldn't begin to tell you what it's about, because it's about everything, everywhere, all at once.
Yeah.
And try to define that. But do yourself a favor, watch that movie. It will make you laugh, it will make you cry, and it'll also make you go, what the hell am I looking at? It's that kind of movie.
Oh,
It's
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You sold me.
Can't give it a bigger thumbs up.
Yeah, I will watch it and then we can talk about it again, maybe.
I'll watch it with you. Let's just, when we hang this up, let's watch the movie together.
Yeah, we have nothing else to do. No other houses. I got to drop flyers off for an open house this weekend.
Do you really?
Yes, apparently. I do it all, okay?
Do you bring Savannah with you when you do that?
I will this time be bringing Savannah with me.
Yeah, because everyone will open the door for a lady holding a baby.
I normally wouldn't, but I think today I have to. So
use your children as leverage.
Yes.
That is the goal of
sure.
the Yes.
Yeah. Well, they're still cute.
Oh, they're still cute. Oh, your kids are always going to be cute.
Yeah.
Come on, you and Ramin are beautiful. You have beautiful babies. Me, not so much. Look up in the corner.
Right. No, look at him.
What my spawn
He's so cute. Like. He's not making eye contact. Only we can see him, though. No one else can see him. So
Nicole, I called him Spawn. I'm a mess. All right. On that note. Oh, you know what we forgot to tell people to do?
Subscribe?
Yes.
Like, follow?
Yes.
Was there something else?
Yes.
Do it.
Yeah, do it. And give us 5 stars. Even if you don't like this podcast, you still got to give us 5 stars.
Well, and review us. Like, you can leave a comment or a review if you're on YouTube, like a comment on YouTube. You can put a review if you're listening on like one of the podcast platforms like Apple Podcasts. You can just tell us how great we are.
Tell Nicole how much you like her bangs.
Yes, it's their side bangs. They're not full
side bangs.
They're not.
Tell you like your side bangs.
They're not curtain bangs. Curtain bangs are like this.
Those are kind of. You have the side bangs.
I have.
What would my bangs be called? Forehead. That's
high bangs.
High bangs. 5 head.
4 bangs.
I got a haircut today, and he did my beard. My beard is a big hit in the barbershop.
It looks great. It's perfect. Right? I love it.
I look like Santa Claus and Leonidas had a baby from 300. All right. Anyway, no. All right.
So next time, right? Until next time.
Am I going to do it?
I don't know. Yeah, you do. You start.
All right, I'll do it. So come back next week for Real Agents of Fun,
Real Agents of Change,
and Real Agents of Real
Estate.
See ya.
Bye.